Last time, we analysed one of the most heated and on-site beefs in Pokemon history, with Rayquaza and Deoxys. But this time, we're showcasing the inner turmoil between the Creation Trio, which includes Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, and how they're always beefing with each other, and how they even beef with their own creator, the god of all Pokemon, Arceus. So it starts off with Palkia and Dialga confronting each other straight Hulk Hogan and The Rock, with the cameraman making sure to get all the angles on this generational feud. And the two get to boxing by clashing with a headbutt. And they started off fighting, but we didn't even know why they're fighting in the first place. We didn't get no lore, no backstory, no nothing. We just appeared mid-cutscene for real. Palkia uses Aura Sphere to suck Dialga, but Dialga was having none of that, and immediately responded with Hyper Beam. But he wasn't aware that Palkia came equipped with that Android 17 bag, as he blocks the beam with Protect. Dialga continues to attempt dealing damage to Palkia by unleashing a Draco Meteor, but in between spamming hella rocks, Palkia fires another Aura Sphere before getting cooked by the Draco. Both had the best defense as offense. And after sizing each other up, the two legendaries decide to lock in and begin fighting for real, as Palkia uses its space manipulation to launch a space array. But Dialga got that barrier bag as well, as it just negates the attack with Protect. Dialga then uses his powers to unleash a Roar of Time, which lands a critical hit on Palkia and got all the unknowns flying. The attack was so devastating that it cracks Palkia's orb, which got him vulnerable, so Dialga tries to seize the opportunity with another Hyper Beam, but the space Pokemon dodges. The two then go back to boxing, trading Aura Spheres and Hyper Beams back and forth. And after both of them are finished going brick for brick, the camera cuts to Palkia outfreeing Dialga with a stronger headbutt, before they clash again with two Hyper Beams. And free them unknowns once again, bruh. They're just trying to chill in the void, but they found themselves in the middle of a battle between two demigods. Ain't no way. The power between these two beings clashing is so potent that it shakes the rest of the universe, like that one punch by Goku and Beerus. And Darkrai, who this movie is about by the way, shows up at the wrong place, wrong time, as everyone starts thinking that it's him that's causing these dimensional earthquakes. And this jabroni was trying to get his main character moment, because he knew he was getting recorded on that camera trying to get some extra screen time. The hoes are gonna love this headass. He summons his Licky and attacks Darkrai, who's probably out here thinking,
I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
Before taking the time to Aura Farm, pointing in its legs just to stand on this high ass pole. Like he was not Piccolo, my boy, get down from there. The camera pans away to see Licky getting cooked, as everyone's trying to find out where Darkrai went off to. But that's until someone get this guy in the Aura Farming tournament, because what is he looking at? And after staring into the distance for absolutely no reason, Darkrai finally comes back down, pointing in his legs just to retract them straight away, as it turns out that he's getting jumped. As it starts off with Empoleon using Ice Beam, but Darkrai just breaks that shit, and it pans to the entire village surrounding Darkrai, which really got me thinking,
man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
The entire squad launches their attacks, but Darkrai just no-sells their shit before putting the whole team to sleep. And bro really clutched a 1v9, which is kinda
embarrassing
for this town. But this dude's OP, no wonder why it took Ash half his team to barely beat this guy against Tobias. Licky tried to run the final ISO on Darkrai by using Spinjitzu, but the mythical Pokemon just weaves that shit, but Licky was able to wrap his tongue around like it's a Yoshi. However, he just sent the chubby Pokemon flying. He wasn't worried about him at all. And after getting that victory royale, Darkrai goes to attack something, but it looks like he's just fighting ghosts. But as the space-time continuum collapses in the real world, looking like they're in the void of nothingness, it's revealed that Darkrai was trying to box Palkia, the one who's been fucking up the entire universe. Darkrai draws first blood by hitting Palkia with the Dark Pulse, and Palkia starts tweaking, confronting Darkrai only for it to launch a shockwave that Palkia blocks with Protect. The space Pokemon gets in close to try and swing, but Darkrai weaves that shit. Palkia tries to chase down Darkrai, but the Shadow Pokemon is just too fast. It tries to close the gap by charging up an Aura Sphere, but Darkrai negates it with a Shockwave. The two then come to a standstill and are ready for round 2. But that's until Palkia suddenly gets sneaked by a Draco Meteor used by Dialga, who pulls up to this dimension as well. He continues this onslaught by spearing the space Pokemon into the ground. But Palkia isn't moved by Dialga no more, as he's got a new opponent now in Darkrai, so he just palms Dialga's head and slams Bro to the ground. It then goes back to hunting Darkrai, but Dialga wasn't about to allow that, especially after that disrespect it just took. Hyper beaming Palkia from downtown, snapping it from across the map. The two creation deities then stand off against each other, continuing their duel from earlier. The two then charge up a Hyper Beam and an Aura Sphere respectively, getting into a beam clash that goes nowhere. And just like in their earlier fight, the two then go brick for brick, looking like a Tua vs Trevor matchup, before Palkia launches an Aura Sphere that almost hits the Sacred Temple. Luckily, Darkrai was able to block it. Dialga then charges up his time powers, preparing to use its signature Roar of Time move, and Palkia says I bet, and uses its own spatial wrench. The clash between the two concepts jeopardizes the universe even more, but these two don't give a fuck. They just try to run the fade straight Goku and Vegeta. The two then said fuck the beams and went straight to throwing hands, straight squabbling. And by doing so, they were about to land on this girl, but they got no regard for human life like LeBron.
Damn. He really about to rock my shit.
But luckily, Darkrai was able to intervene, protecting the girl and blasting the two legendaries away with Dark Pulse. He then tries to stop the fight, but he's getting straight ignored. And him being in the way prevents Dialga from seeing Palkia's upcoming attack, resulting in him getting cooked in the process. And I know he's heated about that one. Eventually, Darkrai uses Dark Void to try and put the two legendaries to sleep. But obviously, that wasn't going to work as they both use Protect. The two then decide to stop their fight for a second so they can call a truce, so they can jump Darkrai for a second. Because you know, the enemy of my enemy is still my enemy, or whatever the fuck. As they both send Darkrai flying. And with Darkrai out the picture, the two legendaries are free to box to their heart's content. But the more they fight, the more the normal realm deteriorates. The heroes find Darkrai chilling in a pond like how Vegeta was after getting blasted by Trunks. But they are running out of time, as one more clash between these two legendaries will mark the end of the normal realm's existence, which was about to happen as both Pokemon begin charging their signature moves. But luckily, after getting hit with that flashback sequence, Darkrai got that quick revive, being able to block and absorb the deity's abilities with a simple Dark Void. But this comes with a cost, as Dialga and Palkia escape the Dark Void, and as a result, attack Darkrai, leaving him gone, reduced to atoms. However, his sacrifice wasn't in vain, as the heroes were able to calm down the god Pokemon by mesmerizing them with this golden ass temple. As Dialga just dips, and Palkia says, "Ayo, my bad bruh," before returning the world back to normal. And now, everything is back to the way it should be, except that Darkrai is still missing after their noble sacrifice, and the gang made sure to mourn over his efforts, but they must mourn no more as Darkrai shows up using the return from the dead technique. Just like the name suggests, it's when individual aura farms after coming back alive, making sure to act like nothing ever happened. And he pulled that off flawlessly. I know Piccolo is proud right now. So after all that commotion has settled down in the last movie, we fast forward to Dialga appearing near a pond. And I guess after almost destroying the universe when fighting Palkia, the time Pokemon decide to go sneak into peace, straight Master Oogway style, as it just stands there all elegantly. But then the legendary decides to do way too much, as it goes for a drink in the pond when we know damn well that these creation deities ain't need no water to survive. It just wanted that gazelle drinking aesthetic. We are onto this diva. But it turns out that waiting for Dialga to turn all cutesy was the perfect time to sneak the legendary Pokemon. As we see Giratina lurking in the reverse world, waiting for Dialga to get in close, and I just know it was straight geeky like Randy Orton when he was trying to hit an RKO, licking its lips and everything waiting for this devious lick, as it appears in the real world beginning to scrap at Dialga. And first Palkia, now Giratina, Dialga can't catch a break. No wonder it's been seeking inner peace in its spare time. Giratina tries to drag the time Pokemon back into the reverse world, trying to secure that home court advantage, as he does just that, slamming Dialga into the ground in the reverse world. And somehow, this guy who was exploring the reverse world, how did he even get there? I don't know, finds himself in the perfect position to record this fight between two deities. As he Mario jumps close and activates his 4K Ultra HD camera, he already knows this shit's about to go viral. Giratina has Dialga locked in a Cobra choke, straight MMA type shit, until Dialga yeets him the fuck out of there. He then turns on the jets and tries to dip out of the reverse world. But Giratina pulls an Undertaker and Kane and basically drags the time Pokemon back to hell. The two square off for round 2, with the Renegade Pokemon opening up with the Will-O-Wisp that cooks Dialga. He then tries to combo with a move, but Dialga weaves it, leading to Giratina nearly killing the Shaman, who just like Dialga, was just trying to chill by the lake before getting roped into this mess. The Shaman is then caught in between two deities, so it fires off a Seed Flare out of Terra, which is able to create a portal back to the real world. This is the equivalent of Super Boo opening a portal between dimensions because he just wanted more chocolate. Game respects game. Dialga seizes the opportunity to dip out there as well, but Giratina continues his Undertaker impression by dragging the time Pokemon once again. But Dialga finally locks in and goes on the offensive, paralyzing the Underworld Pokemon and then skedaddling the fuck out of there. The portal closes on Giratina and I know that shit's got him heated. It attempts to recreate the Dimension Portal like what Gotenks did with Super Saiyan 3, and was actually successful. But it's unable to leave as Dialga trapped it in a time loop before leaving. Got him in one of those Chicago reverse edits, and now he's looking like Penelope being unable to leave the game server. That's tough. It then cuts to our Diamond and Pearl protagonists who are now chilling by the lake as well. And this lake must be filled with Fiji water or something because it can't be a coincidence that everyone's here at the same time. But anyway, due to the distortions caused by the two legendaries fighting, it causes the lake to start tweaking, creating water tornadoes in the process. The gang try to flee but Dawn gets caught, but luckily Ash comes in with the clutch, catching her and bringing her back to safety. The same can't be said for Pikachu and Piplup unfortunately, who are sent flying. And you know, they are in trouble, but they're not gonna die or anything, like they literally dealt with the collapsing dimension in the last movie. They'll be fine with some lame ass tornadoes. So tell me why this random girl appears.
Who the fuck is this?
And offers to help save their Pokemon by
Dialga, please save these Pokemon for me.
Huh?
summoning Dialga, who actually appears, saving the two Pokemon and getting rid of the water tornadoes. And while that's cool and all, we first gotta figure out why this random lady has Dialga on speed dial, being able to summon it at will. It's like when Tobias put up with both a Darkrai and a Latios, like who are these people and why do they have legendaries? And second of all, we gotta start having real conversations about how Dialga went from the time Pokemon to the jobless Pokemon. Because first it has the time to capture an aesthetic by the lake, and then it's doing side quests for this random psychic lady. But before Dialga can even set up a job search, Giratina's hating ass pulls up on him again, and they went back to where they left off, headbutting the jobless Pokemon and comboing with the Will-O-Wisp. Dialga, who must be sick of this shit by now, tries to skedaddle out of there. But Giratina wasn't about to lose him again, so he tackles the Pokemon to the ground, trying to finish the job off with more point-blank Will-O-Wisps, stealing Rayquaza's whole flow. Everyone's pleading for Giratina to back off since Dialga just saved their Pokemon, but Giratina doesn't give a fuck as it launches more attacks. The space lady from before tries to spiritually connect with Giratina, because she can do that apparently. But all she saw was how Giratina got that Sasuke level of hatred. Bro was beaming straight negativity, and since she was so useless, basically a Dialga merchant, Ash, the main man himself, had to intervene, getting Giratina's attention. And Giratina remembered how Ash and the gang saved his life in the last movie. Yeah, I just skipped over that shit by the way. If you want to see that part, go watch the movie. Giratina then allows Dialga to escape due to Ash's wishes. But you know, as soon as Ash leaves, Giratina's gonna go run that fade again. He just wanted to take a little break. Everything is looking good until the space-time continuum starts tweaking again, where the tornado captures Dialga this time, who is still here. Because you know, he's jobless. He ain't got nowhere else to go. But suddenly, out of nowhere,
For thousands of years I lay dormant. Who has disturbed my...
Hey, best buddy!
Oh, it's you.
Palkia appears to help Dialga. I guess they have settled their beef from before. The psychic lady flexes her ability to talk to legendaries one more time, for absolutely no reason at all by the way, before they both return to their realms. And while that's all happening, Arceus, the god of all Pokemon, has awakened. And this is where it's revealed that Arceus was tweaking in its slumber, having straight nightmares and shit. Which is why all of the realms were becoming messed up and why Dialga and Palkia were beefing in the first place, leading to Giratina getting involved as well. But that has me wondering, what could possibly be disturbing the god of all Pokemon so much that he's shaking the universe? But that's until he says,
Human beings must be brought to justice!
and oh nah, is that Arceus speaking or is that Sumasu? Bro's about to implement the Zero Mortal plan as he pulls up to their realm and immediately pops his ult, using his signature move, Judgment. Shit's looking like that human extinction attack. Are we sure Bro's not a god of destruction? He then pulls up on our heroes and the psychic woman tries to spiritually calm them down. But Arceus just says, "No, fuck that!" And she's now 1-3 with that spiritual shit. So I think it's time to start having real conversations about her being a fraud. Like I said before, she's a Dialga merchant. Anyway, Arceus decides to activate Overkill, using his signature Judgment ability to off 5 people, which includes 3 kids. Anakin would be pleased, but just in the nick of time, Dialga and Palkia arrive to block the attack. And why are they acting like nothing happened? Like they didn't almost destroy the universe while they were beefing. But it doesn't even matter now as they oppose their father just for him to get cooked straight away. Palkia tries to counter with a spatial rain, but Arceus just negates his ult. Oh nah, they're cooked. Dialga tries to redeem his brother's terrible shot attempt with a flamethrower. And not even a roar of time? Yeah, just like Jokic on defense, this guy is not trying. As Arceus just negates that shit as well, and counter hits the jobless Pokemon with Twister before cooking it further with Flamethrower. Arceus then locks back onto the humans and is about to finish him off, but Giratina pulls up for the save, which wouldn't be the first time he had to save his creation brothers.
For thousands of years I lay dormant. Who has disturbed my...
Oh, hey Goku, what's up?
Androids?
Neat. Mind if I take a spin?
But you know damn well Giratina couldn't care less about saving Ash and the gang, or helping his brothers. He just wanted an excuse to rebel against his dad like what Todoroki did in season 1 of My Hero. Wanted to rebel against Endeavor so badly that he came out with this atrocious ass bit. What was Bro thinking? Giratina starts off by firing off Will-O-Wisp on Arceus, just for him to negate that shit as well. Who then retaliates by using Blizzard, which hits all 3 legendaries for splash damage. Palkia's the only one who IQ'd it by blocking the attacks with Protect, and then countering by capturing Arceus in the space chamber. This allows Dialga to send our heroes back in time so they can change the past to change the future, like that one movie. Arceus then escapes that space prison off screen and sends Giratina flying into the pool. You can definitely tell who's the least favorite child because why is he catching extra belt to ass? And while Giratina's in the middle of getting cooked, Dialga decided to take a nap. Bro said it's his day off,
even though he's unemployed.
Every day is a day off for him. The camera cuts back to Palkia and Giratina 2v1ing Arceus, where Palkia is sent flying, but Giratina sneaks in from behind, trying to use Shadow Force to get the sneak on the god, but he weaves it and he turns the flamethrower. Arceus was about to finish off everybody with Judgment, but luckily Ash and the gang from the past were able to clutch up, helping Arceus to get that good ending like keeping Invisigal as a hero. The team return back to their timelines where they see Giratina and Palkia all laid out, with Dialga still catching some Z's. Arceus mid-judgment attack then gets that timeline patch update to find out that humans ain't that bad before restoring the world back to normal. And now all of a sudden, Dialga's all good as he gets back up. Bro likes to show up when everything's already built. Arceus and the 3 children are apparently all good now after slugging it out, looking like Naruto and Sasuke after taking each other's arms out. And now they all finally return back to their realms in peace, until that next family civil war comes up.